Good evening, students. Let us start the 10th chapter, Nutrition. Here we learn something about the nutrients, carbohydrates, fat, vitamins, minerals. Some are energy giving and some are protective food, some are body building food, everything we learned previously in previous classes. But in this lesson, in this 9th standard chapter, you are learning the same thing in more detail. Let us see the terms of nutrition, food, diet, etc. Several terms are there. Let us learn about it. Then it will be useful for you in your life, because every day we are taking food and food is becoming our body. Our body is formed out of the food that we eat. So it is very important to know about it in detail. Otherwise we cannot provide the materials for our body. So it is very necessary to understand about the nutrients, because our body is formed out of the nutrients that we take every day. Here the nutrition, one definition is there. You see, so many definitions are there. Nutrition means supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds to the body. Organic compound, example, proteins, carbohydrates, etc. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen containing material are organic material. Then inorganic material, example, the salts and minerals, iron or sodium chloride that we take with our food, that are essential inorganic compound that we take. Then every day we use the term the food. Food, what is the correct definition of the food? Food is any substance which we eat or drink. See the definition. Food is any substance which we eat or drink and which contain the nutrients. The nutrient containing material that we eat or drink daily is the food that we eat. Then another term we use is the diet. Diet meaning the combination of food items which we eat in our meal. Diet, when we diet meaning the combination of food item. We know that different kinds of things we together bring the food, any substance that we can eat. For example, with the rice we take other materials like the pulses or meat or fish. With the rice we make a diet. That is a combination of food item which we eat in our meals. നമ്മൾ ഓരോ നേരം ഭക്ഷണം കഴിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് എന്തെല്ലാം അടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ടോ, പല മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് കൂടിയാണ് ഒരു ഫുഡ് ഐറ്റം that we take daily. That is our diet. A balanced diet meaning the diet that the food that we take at a time that contain all the necessary nutrients in the necessary amount in proper quantity is the balanced diet. Then again the balanced diet again that may be vary according to the age of the person. We know that a 6-month-old child need only the mother's milk. Sometimes some kind of porridge they may eat. They will not take rice or biryani with it. So but a hard working laborer need more food. That is according to the age and the sex of the individual. Usually males need more food than the female, because the metabolic rate of the male is more compared to the female. So sex of the individual is also depend upon which kind of food that we should eat. Then the lifestyle, nature of work. A farmer or a sports person need more food compared to a officer that may sit in a proper place and do his work. That may so the lifestyle also or the nature of the work also different with the person to person. Then another kind of diet, the fourth point you see here, the special need of a person like a sick person. You know that if a sick person take much more food, that person cannot digest the food. If a sick person take the biryani or a heavy meal, he cannot digest it properly. So sick persons usually eat fruits or the porridge like soft or the cornflake. Such things are usually taken by a sick person. Or pregnant lady, she need more nutrients for her baby also. For the growth of his baby, she should eat more food item. So a pregnant lady need more food or the nutrient containing food compared with the other person. A nursing mother feed her baby with her milk also need more food, because the milk is produced according to the food she take. Then another term here given is the meal. Meal is the food taken at one time to satisfy the appetite. Appetite എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ വിശപ്പെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, വിശപ്പിനെയൊക്കെ നമ്മളെ തൃപ്തിപ്പെടുത്താൻ. To appetite, the meal is the food taken at one time. Usually we take a meal 3 times a day. Then appetite meaning the desire to eat, and the hunger is the uneasy sensation due to the lack of food. Hunger, usually if we didn't get the food for long time, we feel hunger. Appetite is a desire. When we desire for a food, that is the appetite. So in this first portion itself, we learned a lot of definition that we use daily in our life. So you must be able to differentiate all these things. Then need for nutrition. Why we need food? For the growth. We know that young children, by taking food, the body gets its building material. So for proper growth, especially young children need more food. Then repair. Even though the adult, some tissues are worn out every day, so that more food or material should be given by the adults also, because many repairing every day. Our skin may be exfoliated, many tissues, or lifespan of red blood cell is only 120 days. After that it must be created newly. So for the repair of the body also need food. Then the energy, we have to work daily. So for getting energy, our muscular energy need, the food is the fuel for our body. Then the maintenance of chemical composition of the body. You know that the blood or the inside the cell, the cytoplasm, everything need a particular amount of chemical components in our body. It's water or calcium. Blood also containing the glucose, calcium, or sodium, potassium. Such minerals are present even in the blood or inside the cell. So for maintaining it, we should take food to maintain it properly. The provision of raw materials for the manufacture of various secretions, enzymes, hormones, sweat, milk, these are all produced in human body. In female, after the childbirth, milk is produced. Sweat is produced every day when we feel hot. Then so many hormones are created for various purposes in body. All these things for the production, or our saliva or the tear gland, everything need materials. So then again, protection from disease and infections. Our body is fighting against the germs by producing antibody and antitoxins. So to produce such things, body need material. So if we take enough vitamins or minerals, then only our body can protect, or making certain materials, it can kill the germs. So I think you understood why we need the food. Then we can classify the food into many groups. You can see here in the classes of nutrients, here you can see some bold blue colored words. Carbohydrate, fat, protein, mineral salt, vitamin and water are different components of the nutrients in our food item. Then first learn about the carbohydrate. Carbohydrates is formed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Then its main duty is to produce energy. കാർബോഹൈഡ്രേറ്റിൻ്റെ ജോലി എനർജി പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ. ദെൻ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് കൈൻഡ്സ് ഓഫ് കാർബോഹൈഡ്രേറ്റ് ആർ sugar, starch and cellulose. You know what are sugar? Sugar are especially their special qualities, they are soluble in even in cold water. നമുക്ക് പഞ്ചസാര എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് ലയിക്കുന്നതാണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് soluble in water. Then let us two kinds of sugars are there. They are monosaccharides or single or simple sugar and disaccharide. Here you can see the word disaccharide here. Disaccharide. Monosaccharides and disaccharides are the two kinds of sugar. Then let us see about the monosaccharide. Simple sugar. That is glucose is one of the three kinds of monosaccharides are there. Simple sugars are of three kinds. The first one is the glucose. You might have tasted the glucose when you had sports. At sports time usually we take or we use glucose. Then it is the simplest sugar. After when we eat rice, after that rice or chapati everything digested and finally it form glucose inside our body. You are familiar with the glucose. That is the level of glucose present in the blood is known as blood sugar. That is present even in our blood. The glucose in it dissolved. A particular amount of glucose is necessary for our body inside our blood. The second kind of sugar is the fructose. That is the fruit sugar. Usually in fruits we can taste the sweetness. That is the fruit sugar or fructose. Then the third sugar is the galactose. That is the sugar found in the milk. മിൽക്കിൽ കാണുന്ന ഷുഗറാണ് ഗാലക്ടോസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ആർ ദ സിമ്പിൾ ഷുഗർ. അപ്പോൾ ദീസ് സിമ്പിൾ ഷുഗർ ദാറ്റ് നീഡ് നോട്ട് എനി ഡൈജഷൻ. ഇത് ഡൈജഷൻ്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഫ്രൂട്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ രോഗികൾക്ക്, ഇഫ് എ പേഴ്സൺ ഈസ് സിക്ക് ഹി ക്യാൻ ഈറ്റ് ദ fruits. Then without digestion that fructose, that sugar inside the fruits can be absorbed by the body because they are the simple sugar. It can be directly absorbed by the body. Galactose is the sugar that usually found in the milk of a mother. The baby, when baby drink the milk of a mother, without digestion that milk sugar or galactose can be absorbed into the body of the baby without digestion. Then the second kind of sugars are the disaccharide. Disaccharide meaning double sugar. You know that glucose, its formula is C6H12O6, but in the chemical formula of the double sugar is C12H22O11 is the chemical formula of double sugar. These are also three kinds. You saw that the simple sugar, they are also monosaccharide also three kind, disaccharide also three kind. The first one is the sucrose or the cane sugar. നമ്മൾ പഞ്ചസാര ചായക്കൊക്കെ ഇടുന്ന പഞ്ചസാരയാണ് സുക്രോസ്. കെയിൻ ഷുഗർ, അതായത് കരിമ്പിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടാക്കുന്ന പഞ്ചസാര. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് മെയ്ഡ് അപ്പ് ഓഫ് ടു സിമ്പിൾ ഷുഗർ. രണ്ട് ഷുഗർ കൂട്ടിയാണ് ഇത് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ് ആൻഡ് ഫ്രക്ടോസ്. യു നോ വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ്. ഗ്ലൂക്കോസും പഠിച്ചു, ഫ്രക്ടോസ് ഫ്രൂട്ട് ഷുഗറും നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഗ്ലൂക്കോസും ഫ്രക്ടോസും ചേർന്നുണ്ടാകുന്നതാണ് സുക്രോസ്. അത് കോമ്പിനേഷനാണ് സുക്രോസ്. ദെൻ ദ സെക്കൻഡ് ഷുഗർ ഈസ് ദ മാൾട്ടോസ് ഓർ മാൾട്ട് ഷുഗർ മെയ്ഡ് അപ്പ് ഓഫ് ടു ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ് മോളിക്യൂൾ. രണ്ട് ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ് മോളിക്യൂൾ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്ത് ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഫോർമുലയാണ് മാൾട്ടോസ് ഷുഗർ. Then the third sugar is the lactose sugar. You know lacto meaning milk. Lactose or milk sugar made up of glucose and galactose. Galactose also you saw here. Simple sugarൽ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചതാണ് ഗാലക്ടോസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഈ ഗാലക്ടോസ് ആൻഡ് ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ് ടുഗദർ അറ്റാച്ച് ടുഗദർ മേക്ക് ദ ലാക്ടോസ് or the milk sugar. Then again the starch. Starch is also an energy carbohydrate. First one is the sugar, second one is the starch. Look here, starch is insoluble carbohydrate. ഇപ്പോൾ ചോറ് സ്റ്റാർച്ചാണ്. നമ്മൾ ചോറ് എത്ര സമയം വെള്ളത്തിലിട്ട് ഡിസോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കിയാലും ഈവൻ ദോ ഇഫ് വി ഗ്രൈൻഡ് യൂസിങ് എ മിക്സി ഓർ ഗ്രൈൻഡർ, ആഫ്റ്റർ ദാറ്റ് ഇഫ് വി ട്രൈ to dissolve in water, that is insoluble. That will precipitate even if you stir it for a long time. ഒരുപാട് നേരം ഇളക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നാലും സ്റ്റാർച്ച് അത് സെറ്റിലാവും. ദാറ്റ് cannot dissolve like the sugar. Usually these are present in the rice, maize, wheat, barley. ഇതുപോലുള്ള ധാന്യങ്ങൾക്കകത്തൊക്കെയാണ് സ്റ്റാർച്ച് ഉള്ളത്. They are the polysaccharide. Many glucose molecule attached together making a bigger chain, that are the polysaccharide. ഒരുപാട് ഗ്ലൂക്കോസ് മോളിക്യൂൾ ഒരുമിച്ച് ചേർന്നുണ്ടായിരിക്കുന്നതാണ് പോളിസാക്കറൈഡ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സ്റ്റാർച്ച് ഈസ് സച്ച് എ പോളിസാക്കറൈഡ്. ദെൻ its formula is also given here, C6H10O5. then N meaning outside the bracket you can see an N. That number vary according to the kind of starch. പലതരത്തിലുള്ള സ്റ്റാർച്ച് ഉണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു അരിയുടെ സ്റ്റാർച്ച് തിന്നുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള ടേസ്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കത്തില്ല, കപ്പയ്ക്കകത്തുള്ള സ്റ്റാർച്ച് വേറൊരു ടേസ്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് കൈൻഡ്സ് ഓഫ് സ്റ്റാർച്ച് മേ ബി ദെയർ അക്കോർഡിംഗ് ടു ദ നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ്സ്. ആ നമ്പറാണ് ബിഗർ ചെയിൻ ആയിരിക്കും. എത്ര നമ്പർ ഉണ്ടോ അതനുസരിച്ച് അത് വ്യത്യാസം ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ദാറ്റ് മേ ബി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. ദെൻ 2 other insoluble polysaccharide. ഈ പോളിസാക്കറൈഡ് സ്റ്റാർച്ച് ഈസ് one kind, then another cellulose and glycogen. Cellulose is found in the cell wall of plants. It is unused in our body. Our body cannot digest the cellulose, but cellulose can be digested by the herbivorous animal. പശുവൊക്കെ വൈക്കോല് തിന്നും, അത് അവർക്ക് ദഹിക്കും, നമ്മളുടെ ശരീരത്തിന് അത് ഡൈജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. അപ്പോൾ cellulose is found in the cell wall of plants. If a herbivorous animal, if it eat, it can digest it. Then sometimes when we eat the vegetable, the carrot or beans, that also contain a little amount of cellulose inside it. That is indigestible and that is we call it roughage. നാരുകളെന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയും. തേങ്ങ, അതുപോലെ ക്യാരറ്റ്, അതുപോലത്തേനകത്തൊക്കെ ഉള്ള റഫേജ് എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ഹെൽപ്പ് us ഫോർ പ്രോപ്പർ ഫങ്ഷനിങ് ഓഫ് അവർ ഇൻഡസ്റ്റൈനൽ കനാൽ. നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഗട്ടെന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഇൻഡസ്റ്റൈനൽ കനാൽ, അതിനകത്തൂടെ ഫുഡ് കടന്നു പോകുന്നതിന് ഈ നാരുകളുള്ളപ്പോൾ അതിന് ദാറ്റ് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് ഈസ് പോസിബിൾ. the waste material or the food may be pushed forward if the roughage is enough inside our food material. Then another is the glycogen. Glycogen is in the form in which carbohydrates are stored in animals. In animals, if we eat glucose, the glucose will be converted into glycogen and that will be stored in the liver and muscle cell. The glycogen is also carbohydrate. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ കഴിക്കുന്ന ചോറും മറ്റുമൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ ശരീരത്തിൽ സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വയ്ക്കുന്നത് ഗ്ലൈക്കോജനായിട്ടായിരിക്കും. ദെൻ again, carbohydrate are the principal energy sources in the body. 1 mole of glucose releases 686 kilocalories of energy. 1 calorie meaning the amount of energy needed to rise 1 degree Celsius on 1 gram of water. It is the energy needed for 1 gram of water to increase its temperature 1 degree Celsius. That is the calorie. So carbohydrate, 1 mole of glucose, that is a particular amount of glucose. 1 mole of glucose, that is an amount of glucose that is equivalent to 1 mole. You can learn in the chemistry. It is learnt in the chemistry. 1 mole of glucose, that much of glucose release 686 kilocalories of energy. Then again the another kind of nutrient is the fat.